drumxound for coming along today to Bonn to see the spirit of Woodstock. My name is Wayne P. Sheehy. The P stands for Patrick, and that's because I'm Irish and I live in Ireland. But I'm here working with the spirit of Woodstock in Harmonie. The last time I was here with Carlton as well, and Robert Palmer. And we played here, I think it was one of the last shows Robert played, actually. But what I'm here for this time is a show called The Spirit of Woodstock. The Spirit of Woodstock is a concert and a narrative about not so much Woodstock the festival, but Woodstock the place. And with Carl's experience working with Levon and other members of the band and people who live in Woodstock, he's put together this show. So I'm here with Carl, playing with him and his band, Spirit of Woodstock, which I've already explained what that is. And this is my system. I devised the system in Ireland at the request of a very famous Irish musician called Damien Dempsey. And he plays a sort of a hybrid of Irish music and reggae. And he wanted, as he said himself, Jesus Wayne, I want a couple of bongos. So I bought a collection of instruments that I had. And the bongos, they definitely wouldn't have done it. So I needed to generate some low end. And I have been to Mali, and I've worked with some Algerian musicians in Paris. And I discovered the beautiful low tones of the djembe. And I realized that if they were mic'd properly and played properly, that they could negate the use of a bass guitar in certain aspects. So I've developed the system around the low end. And just to give some background on who I work with, I am fundamentally a drum kit player. I'm a drummer. I've played with Ron Woods, Bo Diddley, Michel Schocht, The Chieftains, Hot House Flowers, Bono. I've played with a lot of different players all over the world. And as a kit player. So what I've done is taken my kit approach and adapted it to this system. Now this is a small version of the system. And as you can see here in Germany, Manel have been supporting me, and they've put the system together for me, which I'm very, very delighted to use. But this is a small version of the system. And what it does basically is I play a regular pattern, but I'm very conscious of the sonics of how it works. So, you know, say just a regular pattern like this. So the djembes are tuned to a B and an A. And all that I need really is just the illusion of change. The tonal difference is marginal. But when I play them, and if you're out front and the EQ is correct, you get the feeling that the note's changing. Even if you're playing in the wrong key, it still gives you the facility to change the note, you know? So the djembes are pivotal to what I do. I'm a long-term, I've been endorsed by Zildjian since I signed to Universal Records in 1984. So Zildjian have been with me since I was a child, basically. They've been wonderful, and to me, no better symbol. And they've looked after me very well. I use a kick drum here as well. In Australia, I have another project with a guy called Jeff Martin, who was from a band called the Tea Party. And that's more of an ethnic thing, so the system would have a doumbek and a doumbek here. And I also have a floating bass drum up here which I use just sort of at that angle, just for more low end and for just more impact playing. I'll show you in a second what I do as a player, but what I need to put across to you is the potential of this system, you know? So the potential of the system is limitless, and I think I have some emulators now already in the States. I'm going to move this microphone for a second and I'm going to play a little, if that's okay, Harold. So let's just take a sort of a drum and bass pattern. I'm going to use a brush. The brush is giving me sort of a hi-hat pattern here as well as an accent. But if I change it to a rod, I had these rods made for me in Perth in Western Australia. So you can see what the colors are there, and then basic patterns. Congos come in, you know. Famous pattern I use in Dublin with one of Damien's songs, a song called Masai, and it's limitless ways you can play this system. Different textures. Brush. Rods. Broken rods. These little slappers. Lots of different things you can use to develop the sound. Now it is a little hard on the instruments, but I'm very fortunate that Meinl, they make skins and instruments that really do last. This is the second tour I've done now with the Meinl system, and it's really holding up very well. And that is fundamentally my system. But I'll show you one other thing. This is an Irish drum. It's called a Baron. Meinl actually make one, but this is a particularly. This one was made for me by a guy in Derry by the name of Seamus O'Kane. It's goat skin, and like goats, it's very temperamental. So it doesn't like heat, it doesn't like cold, and it doesn't like whiskey. Again, you can play it with lots of different things, but you bend them. You kill the skin by tucking it into your body, okay, so it doesn't resonate. And then you push to change the note, push and dampen. So it's all in the wrist, really. It's a wrist action. That's on the brush. And then we have a different selections. What do we have here? This is just a hot rod which I've adapted for it. So lots of colours again with this, and the thing is, with Carl, what I'll do sometimes, with the spirit of Woodstock, is what I will do is I'll start maybe the first half of a song with the bar on, and then if there's a break or a breakdown in the song, I'll switch to this system just to give it a little bit of colour. So it's the best way to describe this system is a hybrid of percussion and kit, and of course there's a bass drum here as well. But I can't do this because I can't balance. If I could, that'd be fantastic. I'd be a real octopus. But I can't do that, so it always has to be either a hi-hat or the kick drum. And I only use the kick drum really for more roots stuff. Having played with Ronnie Wood for quite a long time and Bo Diddley, they gave me strong indicators of just blues feel, you know, and very roots orientated. So this system is great for 1930s, 1940s blues feel, you know, like just really, you know, sort of, you know, literally. You know, just really, really, and just where it's all about the measure. All about the measure. And that would be my thing. As a kit player, I love groove and I'm addicted to groove. I have a variety of different drum kits. Where do I start? I have, you know, the Yamaha 9000. I have a Gretsch Classic American. I have a Catalina as well. I have a hand-built Darwin drum kit, which was made. I don't know if you remember Darwin. That was made for me during my Ronnie days. And then I was given a Rogers by Bo's drummer. Then Charlie from the Stones gave me a Ludwig. So I have a nice collection of drums, all with a story to tell, you know. I also have my own studio in West Cork, which is in the southwest corner of Ireland. And I spend a lot of time producing. I play guitar and keyboards and things. I play mandolin and different instruments. So I spend a lot of my time producing, and funny enough, when I'm producing, that's when the drumming gets most interesting for me, because people will always want me to drum on the record. And sometimes the record might need to be a little, say, indie sounding or rough. So I've developed a new approach to that. What I'll do is, even though I'm a right-handed drummer, I'll play left-handed on the records. If it needs to sound like an indie band or something that's a little loose and jaggedy, I'll force myself to play backwards. You know, in other words, left-handed, and that does the trick. You know, so that's one of my things. I have my Darwin kit is in the studio, and that's really what I'm at. So that's the system. As it. So if anyone wants to find out more about what I do, please check out my my website, which is www.waynesheehy.com. Of course, it's Facebook. You just Google me and I'll come up. And you can see what I do and how I do it. And I'll be workshopping during the end of the year. Probably September, there's some workshops lined up. Anyone wants to come to Ireland to record in Paradise, my studio is there and open for business. Thanks, Harold.